The Hartford Circus Fire, 1944, in Hartford, 1944. In Hartford, Connecticut, one of the most horrific tragedies in American history unfolded. It became known as the day the clowns cried, because what was meant to be a joyful summer afternoon turned into an inferno that claimed the lives of more than 160 people and injured over 700. The golden age of the circus. During the early 1940s, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus was at the height of its fame. It was called the greatest show on earth. For many families, especially in small towns and cities, the circus was a magical escape. Acrobats flying through the air, lions and elephants parading, and clowns bringing laughter to children. In Hartford, the capital of Connecticut, the circus was a huge event. World War II was still raging in Europe, and people longed for distraction and joy. On July 6, thousands gathered under the massive big-top tent, eager for an afternoon of spectacle. Parents brought their children, soldiers on leave came with girlfriends, and entire families filled the stands. Nobody knew that in just minutes, the tent would become a fiery trap. The fire begins. The performance started at around 2:15 p.m. As the band played and the animal acts paraded around the ring, smoke suddenly appeared on the southwest side of the tent. At first, some spectators thought it was part of the show, but within seconds, flames shot upward. The tent was coated in paraffin wax, mixed with gasoline, a common waterproofing method at the time. This combination made the fabric incredibly flammable. Once ignited, the fire raced across the surface faster than anyone could comprehend. Eyewitnesses said the flames spread like a match dropped on paper. In less than a minute, the fire engulfed the entire top of the tent. Panic erupts. Inside the tent were between 6,000 and 8,000 people. Panic broke out immediately. Some rushed to the exits, but many of the smaller side entrances were blocked by animal cages. Some rushed to the tent where many of the smaller side entrances were blocked by animal cages. The main exits quickly became overcrowded as terrified families tried to escape. Mothers screamed for their children. People trampled each other in the chaos. Many were knocked down and crushed by the stampede before the fire was even reached them. Survivors described the sound as a roar of human screams, mixed with the crackling of flames. The canvas began to collapse, raining burning fabric onto the crowd below. Clowns, acrobats, and circus workers desperately tried to cut holes in the tent to allow people to escape. Some performers guided children out of the exits, while others themselves perished in the flames. Stories of tragedy and heroism. One of the most heartbreaking accounts was of a young girl later known only as Little Miss 1565. Her body was found after the fire, and for decades, her identity was a mystery. Photographs of her face were published across the country, and although many claimed to recognize her, she remained unidentified until 1991, when DNA testing confirmed she was Eleanor Cook, a 6-year-old from Connecticut. There were also stories of incredible bravery. Some parents managed to throw their children out of the tent to safety before being consumed by the fire themselves. Circus workers risked their lives to save as many spectators as possible. In one striking moment, the circus band kept playing, trying to calm the crowd as flames spread overhead, but the music was quickly drowned out by screams. The last complication can never be forgotten. The entire disaster lasted less than 10 minutes. From the first spark to the moment the tent collapsed, only a few minutes passed. By 2:04 p.m. the fire was over, but the devastation was immense. When the flames died down, the scene was apocalyptic. Burned bodies lay scattered among charred seats. Survivors wandered in shock, covered in soot and ash. Firefighters and police worked frantically to help the injured and recover the dead. 67. Aftermath and blame. In total, 168 people died and more than 700 were injured. Many of the victims were children. It became one of the worst fire disasters in U.S. history. Investigations revealed multiple failures. The circus had not provided enough fire exits. Fire extinguishers were missing. The decision to waterproof the tent with gasoline and paraffin was disastrous. Several circus officials were charged with involuntary manslaughter. They were convicted but later pardoned after serving only a short time because the public believed they had not intentionally caused the tragedy. The Hartford Fire changed safety laws across America. New regulations banned flammable waterproofing methods. Venues were required to have clear exits, fire extinguishers, and regular safety inspections. For legacy of the Hartford Circus Fire, for survivors in the city of Hartford, the trauma lasted a lifetime. Many who escaped never attended a circus again. Families were shattered, and the city held mass funerals for the victims. Today, the site of the fire is marked by a memorial. Every year, on July 6, people gather to remember those who lost their lives in what should have been a day of joy. The Hartford Circus Fire remains a chilling reminder of how quickly disaster can strike and how moments of happiness can be turned into nightmares. It also stands as a lesson. Safety regulations are often written in the ashes of past tragedies.